Hello, friends. How are you today? Wow, if you are feeling whomped by these energies, let me show you something. Just in the last 2 days, we've had 7 M-class flares because there was 2 this morning. So who knows what the rest of the day holds. I know I woke up and just felt like whomped. It's just physically like it's finally getting to me, I guess. The stress of the energies on the body and the invitation to light something inside, to keep that light. What I would say is to keep it aligned as the outer stress, to keep aligned with divinity within, as the outer stress just feels like so much pressure energetically. So let's look at what's going on in the chart with this big energy. So I encourage you to watch the video I just made on entrainment in the Schumann. It was so fascinating. It's a really cool concept, and it's only 17 minutes long. So it looks like the energies, they started a little bit, like they're coming in a little bit before 9, which is interesting. I think that's been the case for like 3 days now. So I'm just watching that. There's a little shift in that vertical curtain, and we'll see how that all transpires as we move through these X-class flares. And what's interesting is that even though this energy looks so big on the chart, the amplitude is not really that big. That was really surprising to me. So look at this, okay? Here's the peak of the white for most of that kind of cloud is 33.2. Interesting. And then it peaks at 54. Oh, goodness. I just see the numbers here. Well, 9 is the end. So is it the end of an era? I guess we'll find out. I really hope so, to be honest. But, we always think that things ending is going to be so, we're going to go into something new. Yeah, but the process of the ending just feels like, nails on a chalkboard, or, driving over that extremely bumpy road that hasn't been paved in 20 years, or, driving on that gravel road and it turns out the gravel has sharp edges and you better really be careful. So that is that. You can see that with the increased amplitude, that's where we got the dip in the frequencies. That's where we got the real expansion of the energy. And that was this right here. This what I call the rods that go from almost zero, close to zero, to about 40 hertz. And it's interesting because at first it looked to me like, oh, is this a continuation of... I'm seeing a face. I'm going to show you that in a second. That's why I'm laughing. At first I thought this is a continuation of this sort of cloud feature. I thought that it would continue the pattern, but it didn't. And do you guys see what I'm seeing here? I see this, I see like at first when I looked at it, I saw like an old devil looking out here, which is kind of strange. Doesn't seem very unhappy. Doesn't seem very happy. It's strange to me because the eyes are so brilliantly, gorgeously purple with rose, and so is the mouth. And I think that it's important to remember there is divinity in every circumstance, and extracting that divinity and understanding that it's there in the first place. It's what's key. And I'm in quite a bit of physical pain this morning. So if I sound like I feel like I'm drunk on the energy because it's helping me come out of the physical pain. So anyway, the expanded energy is helping me come out of the pain that I feel this morning. And the reason that I feel the pain is I'm just sensing it right now. I'm not connected within the way I normally am. Hold on, just give me a second. I'm going to recenter. So I breathe in, I breathe out. Let's put the devil off of the page right now. I'll stick with that rod energy. I breathe in, I breathe out, connect within the heart to my soul energy. Nothing that is not mine is present or permitted in my body and energy field. And I intend, in my intention, to fully connect with my body's energy and embody it, bring that back into the body. Because sometimes when pain, what happens is our energy floats like a cloud. Oh my God. Just like this big cloud of energy that doesn't have a lot of amplitude because it doesn't need energy to move or flow. It's already in us. It's who we are. Anyway, it floats like a cloud within our energy, kind of like up at the ceiling of the energy field. So I'm bringing that back in. Only my pure energy, nothing that is not mine, is permitted. I've already previously said all my energy parameters. If you want a guide on that, you can go to my soul energy for soul protection meditation. That's several videos back, but if you do a search on my channel, you can find it. Oh, and it's in the probably in the human resonance playlist. Okay, back to doing this. I'm intending to fully embody my soul energy to the greatest extent possible as a living human being. Breathe in, breathe out. I focus on the heart and my connection with the heart space, which, by the way, is where I feel so much pain right now. Ow. Okay, I feel better already. Whew. What a pleasant shift. Oh, goodness. And there's the divine flow. Now I embody my energy fully 100%. And the soul connection is active within me in the heart. Oh, goodness. What a shift. The pain is so alleviated now. Instead of the pain, I feel this divine glow, like this gorgeous glow of, well, for me, it's gold. I sense that there's this gold. It's like an angel holding you. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm going to show you an image for that in a minute. Thank you for walking through that beautiful meditation with me. Very quick. See how fast you can bring it. You can bring your energy back into form. And there it is, the lit flame. The lit flame is in the heart. And it's interesting because I notice in this pattern, right, the energy is pointed to the left, right? It's lighting, right? Here we are, we're lighting. And where is this? Let me look at the chart. Where is this? Aha. Okay, so here's 7.83-ish. Right there. So it's in the subconscious where this sort of lit flame is. And the energy is lighting, what no longer serves. And we're faced towards the past. So we have the opportunity to retrieve the soul energy from that which has happened in the past. I know I'm really mixing up the intuitive analysis, the science stuff, the spiritual message all in one today, because boy, that really supports me. Like this is how I make it through these things. This is how I make it through the challenges of my life. I just reconnect. What usually happens is when we get knocked off center, our energy just we're up at the top of the energy field, not in the body. And you bring the energy in and you connect with the soul. Right? So you reignite your soul connection, your connection with God, the Most High, the creator of the universe, the spark of divinity that you are, the living flame of the creator incarnate in this moment. So this is soul retrieval here. That's what I see. This is soul retrieval. And then we just did it. We just walked through it. Literally, you can do a soul retrieval in the moment of your living day as a living human being. I am alive. My soul is alive. I am on the living earth, no matter what any other force attempts to say, it's just not how it is. Okay, now let's go to the qualities, because that's where I really want to show you something, okay? Look at this. Look how the qualities were really pulled up in Q4. Okay, not... I said Q4. I've been thinking about my days in finance, where I talked about Q4 many times, fourth quarter of the year. But anyway, maybe I'll talk about that in the Monday Musings. Okay, so here we are. The qualities in particular, noticeably, of the green and red are really pulled up with this big energy cloud. And it goes so well with the idea of retrieving the pure soul, getting back in touch with the true essence of who you are, because that is what the qualities represent, the higher they go, in my view. For the aspect of life, of frequency, reflected by the frequency range. Okay, so for green, in my view, it's humans. This is our natural state. In red, it's the shadow. And retrieving the essence of the soul from previous shadow covered experiences. That's a soul retrieval. It can be from this lifetime. It could be a bad event that happened to you in the past, and you bring your soul light out of that event. And really, I've actually done that. I've been going through my mom's house with one of my sisters, and it's interesting because I was offered to take whatever I wanted from the house, and what I decided was, we spent days and days, and the best part was just like talking about the memories, talking about, hey, remember when we did this, remember when we did that. And being happy about that, like bringing the soul light and like bringing that out of, the physical material objects, because the objects stir you to a memory. And if the memory is not good, violet flame, right? Transmute that in the moment, violet flame. And now I'm transmuting it within myself, okay? What's outside myself doesn't matter. I transmute that back to a state of love because I don't want to carry that in my field, okay? We talk about this in the Human Energy Workshop. So then what I did was I brought everything back to the house, because I decided that the soul retrieval, for me, bringing my own light and the beauty that I found in some of those memories, that was what I wanted. That's what my heart longed for. And so we had a nice little moment there of talking about what's important. And yeah, it was pretty cool. All right, so that's the soul retrieval. So essentially the red can also be our passion, essentially our longing converted to action and life in the current moment, right? Because when we're in longing and we're stretched out to the past, or we're stretched out and I long for that person in my life that I'm meant to be with, for example. This is a big one. When you stretch out that longing energy, you're no longer able to fully act in the current moment. And it's because our energy is like stretched, back and forth across our own personal timeline, for goodness sakes. When we bring it back to the current moment, that's when we can act. And when it's stretched out like that, that's when the distortions happen. And so when we transmute the shadow here, okay, when we transmute the shadow, when we retrieve the soul energy, when we reignite the fire within, okay, that is, there it is, reignite the fire right there. That's the Diwali celebration right there, the Indian celebration of light, light returning. Then we convert, we essentially integrate the shadow. And, I was going to say we transmute darkness to light, but really the darkness and the light are part of the whole spectrum. All of it is of divinity. And so when we do the transmutation, right, there is no more judgment on the darkness and light within the yin-yang of who we are. But what we do is we gain access to the tool sets that we're all tangled up and covered in. Those events, the bad events in your life that, still hurt today, or that you're just dragging around with you like a big, huge, heavy canvas bag full of gunk. What if you burned the fire, okay? You burned the fire, and maybe you still even had old logs and stuff, and you drug it behind you every freaking day. Pardon my language, every effing day. I gotta get up and I drag this to work and I drag it home, and then I'm gonna bring it to the family dinner table. Are you kidding me? Stop. For goodness sakes. Retrieve your soul light out of that memory. Remember the blessing and take it to the highest level possible. If you need to remember the blessing, literally take it to the Creator. Okay, if you need to take it that high, because as you go higher and higher and higher in the more expanded view, you will find the blessing. And if you can't see the blessing, just know that God put it there for a reason in your life. You don't understand the reason, but God blesses you in this moment somehow. Just go with that and allow the detritus to burn up and let the ash go back to the earth and be recycled. Move it out of your field if it's not yours, or if it's in your field, recycle it in alignment with your highest good so that you have new access to this now neutral energy, as long as it's your own pure soul. That which is not mine is not in my field. Ha-ha. Wow. What a powerful, powerful, powerful approach. I love it. So I found this meme on Telegram, on one of the channels that I follow, and I put the lines in there, but I just thought I would read this today for a little inspiration. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. Whew. We just had the new moon on August 27th. So we're in the third day of the new moon energy. And let me tell you something. It feels like another full moon. I mean, the new moon energies are very tough, very intense, and very challenging. But what is present in these new moon energies is strong energy. And it's in Virgo, so we have the mental capacity, right, to think through this. And using that mental energy, you can still access the soul. And how do you do it? By what I just talked about. I cannot figure out how this situation benefited me, so I go through the mental process of this thought. I can't figure it out, so I'm going to give it to God and know that all is in alignment with my highest good, that darkness is turned to light. So you talk yourself through the mental process, and then you mentally, you tell yourself, I'm going to be in trust, even if you can't feel it. And then maybe, as you do that breathing meditation, bring your energy back into the body, maybe you do feel it. And the reason that this meme spoke so highly to me today is this is literally how I felt when I woke up today after the 7 M-class flares. In a row over the last 20, and then it's been, I guess, 26 M-class flares in 5 days, I think it was, or minus 12, 14 in 5 days, 14 M-class flares in 5 days, and the most recent ones have been in the 7, 6, and I think today's was, of course, I could just look at the chart. Today's was, no, I didn't write down, it was, I want to say it was a 9. It was almost an X-class flare. So it was very, very potent, very strong. And so when I woke up this morning, I thought, how am I going to make it through this day, maintaining my alignment with divinity within, maintaining that 0 point energy, right? And of course, it's going to be really tough to have that today, but I did just get that. When we did the soul meditation earlier. Poof, it was back there. And so even if I don't feel it, I can know that it's possible. That's a mental process. So the mental is as much divine as the emotional and the rest of us, because we tend to poo-poo, especially the older crowd, okay? I'm speaking to you guys. You guys who went to all those EST seminars and all the rest of it. I'm speaking to you guys. There's this whole thing. I think that's very, mental. How many times have I heard that in my life? A lot. Okay, speaking to certain spiritual people with certain spiritual backgrounds. But here's how you use the mental to retrieve the soul. Here's how you use the mental to support yourself in the spiritual process. It's part of the divinity that we are. Let's just love it. Okay, let's just love that as well. And so when I woke up and I thought, how am I going to do this today? Like, how am I going to just get out of bed? Because I feel terrible. And now I feel better that we went through that. But I thought that, now see, when you have these feelings, I just want to show you this really quick. Okay, I hear it. I hear the music. It's time to end. But let me just show you something, okay, before we do that. I'm going to use the gold here to show you. Yeah. So here's the deal. Okay, so here we are. We're in the energy field, and let's say this is centered. Okay, so it's bigger than the image here. But here's the thing. Okay, what happens when we don't feel good? I make this red. Okay, this shadow element. Okay, so here's the deal. Outside of this beautiful gold figure, right, Jesus is holding us there, holding the person. Outside of this gorgeous energy, there's the temptation, right, to just extend, and then the field becomes warped. Hey, you don't feel good? Just take a shortcut and do that, okay? And go this far out of the field and warp the field and expand it and do stuff that's not in alignment with who you are because you don't feel good, or make that snarky comment because you don't feel good, or don't be 100%, don't be fully present because you don't feel good. And the fact is that you can make adjustments for what's in alignment. What does fully present mean for me today? That's what I'm going to do to the best of my ability. Because sometimes that's the case. And when you're working with the energies, you're going to have moments where that's the case. And people who understand working with the energies and that this isn't an ego trip here, will understand, make allowances for you, make allowances for, I had to do that yesterday. I didn't have to, but I did. Because of this stuff with going through my mom's house, I didn't realize how emotionally it was just affecting me, but it wasn't like in the moment. I wasn't like, but I didn't realize, and I flaked out on the same friend twice. I was so like, what? I had told her I would be at her house, and I was literally at the ocean. Why was it the ocean? Why was I at the ocean? Because I had to connect with the energies, and I just was like, I need to be out here. And it was completely gone from my mind. Okay, so that was one of the two times. So finally now, of course I apologized in the moment, but now I just wrote them. Yesterday I wrote an apology note, and I just said, like, I just didn't realize how much this was affecting me. And it was really sweet, Her response was really sweet, and of course, not of course, but I was happy that she forgave me. It was like she just didn't even just, hey, let's get together, at this time, which is a ways out. So we both have a little time because we're both a little busy, and I'm still kind of moving through it. And I just thought that was the sweetest thing. So thank you. I don't know if she's listening to this video or not. She may not. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But thank you. So anyway, this is why I put the temptation here, because see, we have these. And so we have these, it's not only a temptation. It's just like, look, I just can't do it. I just can't do it because that's just what happened energetically. I ended up like somehow way out. Here's the thing, okay, this is really important. Let me show you something here. Was I way out here in my energy field? I make it red because it seems like it's not in alignment. Was I way out here? What was misaligned? Missing the appointment with her or going to the beach? Going to the beach was in this energy. Missing the appointment is here. It's not missing thinking that I should still make that appointment and berating myself for it. Okay? Is this okay? Thinking that, being, or even maybe it's just being late. Maybe it's just I couldn't get it together, or I had to reestablish proper energy parameters to get it together. And the delusion, this is actually delusion, the thought that my energy says be here, my soul guidance says be here, and it's a delusion to think that I should have been able to do that, which I was obviously suffering the delusion of that because I berated myself until I just decided to let it go, because I realized this is what my soul wants me to do. My soul wants me to be at the ocean, or I wouldn't be at the ocean right now, in that healing energy. That's what my whole body just got in the car and drove to the ocean. Okay. and my thoughts, my body's, did you hear that? That was my body. Wow, that was weird. But yeah, well, apparently my body agrees. All right, so I'm going to go and do more energy work with myself, and maybe just sit with myself and meditate for a little while, because I think that's what's going to help me carry on the rest of the day. But this is what I really, really, really want to tell you. I've been wanting to make a video about this. I feel like I'm going on too long, but I have to talk about this. This is the delusion, okay? This is the delusion. The thought that this social obligation is more important than being in service to my own soul, to the energy that says, be with me, to the Christ light calling me to the ocean from within myself. Okay? And the delusion is, oh no, I should leave right now and go drive over there. Like, of course I'm going to miss most of it, because most of the get together, because I'm at the ocean and I can't get there in time. But the delusion is that I should do that in the first place. And of course, socially, the proper thing would have done to call. But since I was out of my mind, I wasn't even thinking. I was in this golden glow of taking care of myself. I could only just message when I suddenly remembered that I was supposed to be at this event, and when I immediately messaged an apology. So, and the good news is I didn't wait like 3 days to message the apology, because, sometimes you do that, like, oh, I feel so bad I missed it, and then I said I was going to do it, and I didn't do it, and then you berate yourself for days. Thankfully, I was able to only, to minimize that. And thankfully, I have a friend who is in this spiritual zone where she gets it. And that is a huge blessing. And you know what else is a huge blessing? Okay, let's remove the delusion from life right now. Because that's what that backwards looking flame lets us do. Okay, where is it? On the delusion in my life. Okay. And so the blessing, right, is seeing the delusion so we can recenter, get back to center, and let the light support you. The light of your own soul, in my view, is the Christ light. Okay? And you know what else is a huge blessing? Having all of you here today with me listening to this discussion. I'm so grateful, and thank you all. And I hope that in these energies you find, in alignment with your own highest good, you find your center, you connect with your light, you do what's in the highest good for you, and in alignment with your highest good and what your best choices are and highest outcomes. And have a lovely, lovely lighted day. It's there for us, whether or not we feel it in the moment.